The craziest thing about content is like you never know who's watching. Even if you don't have millions of views, you never know who's watching. Grabbing people's attention online is a science. You just have to get good at it.
How would you approach a project of a non-existent artist?
That's a tough question, bro.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the Cuttin Thru podcast. I'm your host, Elliot. I'm here with my boy 12. He is really locked in with Rock Nation and a bunch of music labels. He does a lot of content creation and videography for businesses and people in the music industry and does a lot of cool stuff with AI. We're going to talk to him today about how to use AI in video content and how to navigate social media going forward in 2026. Let's dive in. Since like LA and California, all the taxes or maybe the lack of tax breaks for like filming projects have become more prevalent, that like Atlanta is becoming a big hub for like, I know TV production, I think is really big there. Have you noticed more of that coming North Carolina?
We used to have a really big production presence. I think it was like around 2010 to like 15 because we had one of the best tax incentives in the country. So that's why in Wilmington, they started building all those huge sound stages.
Okay.
But then they passed a law that cut the tax incentive down. And that's when everyone moved to like Baton Rouge, Louisiana has a huge tax break. So they have a lot of studios there now. Atlanta's great. Tyler Perry Studios opened a massive facility.
Yep.
So yeah, I think in the South in general, I think I love North Carolina because the range of locations we have from the beach to the mountains to the city, it's kind of like all within one state, you know, so hopefully, production kind of picks back up here, but it's, decent. Yeah. We have a couple Netflix shows.
That right in the Outer Banks, like that is a big popular show, right? And I know Canada is like randomly, like Vancouver is like a big city.
Vancouver's been a big city, bro, for film, yeah.
So a lot of that, because like if you have to go create a set, like it almost doesn't matter where you are.
Exactly.
And like these big productions are just going wherever the cheapest place
where
to go
sense.
is.
Yeah.
I know I saw this clip of like Rob Lowe or something talking about, he was like, it was cheaper to get the entire production, 200 people or whatever, from LA to go to Ireland and film there than it was to like go across the street and use the soundstage in LA.
Yeah.
Like
that's nuts.
It's not even competitive.
No.
That's crazy. Well, before we get too much of on a tangent, do you want to introduce yourself and why we're talking about video stuff and who you are?
My name is 12. I am a creative director and I own a creative agency called Midnight Collective. We're primarily heavily in the music space, helping artists generate brands, generate content for their rollouts, music videos, documentaries, things like that, and just overall help artists get seen on a global scale using content. And then we also work with local companies, local businesses, and entrepreneurs who want to build up their personal brand. Heavy into content, heavy into AI now, and where that's kind of taking content. And overall, my core message or my core philosophy is just to help dope people get seen on a global scale using content, So figure out who the person is and authentically portray them, through content.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we do.
With that point of trying to be authentic, like to the artist, like, do you find you must have like these like battles against like what's trending and like what's popular on Instagram that week versus like sticking to like what's true to the artist? Like, do you often guide the artist into like what content they should be looking for, or do artists often come to you and say, I want this, do this?
Artists typically don't know what they want, and I think a lot of times artists have a negative connotation of social media because they want to have like this illusion of mystery or like, I'm an artist, I don't need to make content.
And I don't want to sell out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But whenever I feel an artist is coming from that direction, I typically have a conversation with them and I'm like, content and social media is just an extension of your music. It's the extension of the entire experience because nowadays everyone experiences music 9 times out of 10 first on social media.
Yeah.
So it's just an extension of your rollout of how you want the fans to experience the music. And if you truly believe in your message of the music, don't you want it to reach the masses on the biggest scale there is, which is, through social media? Yeah. So I kind of try to reframe their perception of what social media is and the power of it. That's why I don't typically chase trends. Trends are cool. Like if it's funny and something you would do and it resonates with you, do it. Like hop on a cultural moment, like, be a part of the conversation. But if it's not you, I would never force you to do a dance or a challenge or something, because people can tell when it's like when you're forcing it. So
right.
I just typically, before I start working with the artist, first I see if it's a good fit or not. We definitely have to, because I'm an artist as well. So we have to gel on a creative level. And then after that, kind of figure out, what you want to accomplish with the music. Is it for you? There's nothing wrong with artists releasing their fourth or fifth album. They just want to generate more streams to get out of this label deal.
Yeah.
But sometimes artists really have a good message, or they want to help people get through something or motivate people, or, bring them some sort of hope or motivation. And so stuff like that, I like to build the whole world around and really believe in the core message of what we're preaching. Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to waste my time. I'm not trying to waste their time. I'm really trying to make an impact with what we're doing. So we don't work with all artists, but when we find artists we love, it's like we're in a relationship for years and years, and we end up becoming friends,
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's when the best work comes.
So you're having those conversations with the artists of trying to be authentic, but also use social media as a tool and not appear as though you're selling out. Because I think the audience can see that too. The person making it feels disingenuous. The people seeing it go, this is just for attention or just whatever. You're just selling your single. This is not for me. And people scroll right by. In that tug of war, where do you stand on the quality versus quantity discussion? Because of course you could do a big production music video with a bunch of people and maybe spend 10, 20 grand on it versus hey, let's go stand against that wall and just get a clip of you rapping. When you work with folks, is there typically a 360 sort of package where hey, here's the main product, here's the production, but to supplement that we have these smaller things. Do you play both the quality game, or are you more so just quality?
I mean, I think it all depends off the goals they have and the goals that the label has. Because obviously, if they're signed to a label, the label needs to recoup their money and then also get exposure, get streams, get sales ultimately. So it all depends on the goals that the artist and the label have. With that being said, I love high quality stuff. I also love stuff shot on iPhone. It depends on the artist's brand and aesthetic. Look, I'm a big fan of testing things. We'll shoot 20 reels. 10 of them could be shot on a Red camera or whatever. It could do horribly, and we'll shoot 2 reels on an iPhone, and it costs us nothing to make, and they get millions of views. So I'm a big fan of testing and kind of putting packages together to where it's like we're gonna try this type of content. We're going to spend $5,000 on this. We're going to try this type of content. We're going to shoot on an iPhone. We're going to get 10 pieces of content in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So kind of mix and match and then see how the audience reacts. And then we'll just double down on whatever's working.
Yeah. I'm a big proponent of that. You got to test and you got to find what works. And I think putting out hey, I've got my hit single is coming out. I need it to be really popular. I need a full production music video is obviously different than hey, the song's been out for a little bit and I need to stay relevant. And I want to make my page look more curated or something. With AI becoming more and more prevalent in what you do, I'm sure there are some who are no, I'm not going to use AI. And then there are others who are embracing it. And from the work I've seen you do, you're embracing it. And the stuff is really cool. Is this speeding up the rate in which you can produce content? Or is it kind of increasing what you can do in the same amount of time?
AI is such a funny thing, man. I literally had a conversation on the way over here about AI and how it's creatives that are not embracing it and totally against it, thinking that it's going to take away from their creativity, and me being on the flip side to where I think it only enhances creativity, right? Because at a point in time, there were, let's say a collage artist back in the day before computers and Photoshop came out, right? That made amazing collages by hand.
Yep.
And then Photoshop came out on a PC. And then people were making collages on Photoshop, and the purists were like, no, that's not real art,
Sure.
So there was that disconnect back then too.
Yep.
I think AI is a great resource and tool if utilized with creativity and self-expression. I could sit at home in my bedroom and with a couple of AI subscriptions, make an entire music video. I can clone myself, make an AI clone, prompt a bunch of things and express myself without leaving my bedroom. And I can prompt a whole music video that could, if I was to go out and shoot it, would have cost me $10,000 and took 3-4 weeks of time.
Right.
I think it's another tool in expression. It's going to get saturated with AI artists, AI music video content. That's going to happen regardless. But I think there's always going to be that need for human connection. Connectivity isn't going to go anywhere. I don't think human art is going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just, there's just going to be more noise, but at the same time, there's going to be a higher appetite for real, authentic human creation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. I was talking to somebody the other day where it's like the theory of some guy on TikTok. So take
Shout
it
out
with a grain of
TikTok.
salt. His theory was there will come a time where social media will have so many like AI accounts with AI content that it's going to leave people feeling like they need that sustenance in their diet of like actually just seeing a person. And it's like the dead internet theory
Yeah,
where
exactly.
like there's so
Exactly.
much like fake reality on the internet that people actually leave it to like get their dose of reality in real life.
Yeah.
And part of me like likes that idea because like I am on my phone all the time. But I think that's taking a really negative view of like AI because I share your belief of like it's a tool. If you are not creative, it might not make you creative. But if you are creative, it will either deepen your thought process while you are being creative, or it can speed up the process in which you get your creativity out.
Yep.
Because I'm even say like doing this video, I know like Final Cut or those things like have an AI where they can go in and take out the pauses and the ums and then this and then that, where it might have took AJ 2 hours to do that a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Just like many tools, they can be dangerous if you use them incorrectly. And I think if artists or any creative is able to take AI and stay authentic to like their message and what they want to do, then it is absolutely a tool to be better.
100%, bro.
Yeah, and
100%.
not afraid of it. But so are there some funny things with AI that you've like were really like this is gonna work, and you post and you go, oh, it didn't work.
Dude, I made a whole video. I spent like a week working on this video to where it's like I literally sat down and figured out the best way to clone yourself and make an AI music video for your music. And I spent like a week working on this video, and then I was like, dude, this is gonna be a game changer. The labels are gonna hit me after this. The labels can use this to save so much money. I put it out, dude. The video flopped. Everyone's like, yo, this is trash. AI is the worst. Like, you're soulless. And I pitched it to a few labels, and they're just like, I don't know. But I'm just like, you guys are gonna be calling me in 6 months, being like, I have $10,000. Can we make 30 different reels for my artist without the artist having to be there? I'm like, this is the future. This is where it's going.
Yeah, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
That's kind of how so I am my foundation, I'm a lazy person. I like to do work, but if work needs to be done, I will find the easiest way to get it done.
Yeah.
So like when AI came out, I was like selfishly like, ooh, this would help me like write emails a lot faster and like digest data. Now it's like actually a tool to be better at what I'm doing or do more
Exactly.
than I was able to do before. It is interesting to hear the pushback of the folks who don't see it that way. And I do feel like if you're not going to learn it in some way, maybe you don't need to use it, but you need to learn it and know what it is. You're going to get left behind. And I'm seeing it, even some friends of mine and my wife works at a media company, and they had like 5 editors and one left. And then like, well, we don't need to hire that new person because now we think that 4 editors can do what 5 used to be able to do with the same amount of time because we're going to use AI.
Yeah.
So I think AI is going to come for jobs, but in the sense where not like AI in and of itself is now an editor at this media company, but it just allows the editor they have to do much more.
All you have to do if you're afraid of losing your job is learn how to leverage AI into whatever field you're in and be the person that operates the AI and is efficient in it and is up to date and everything, and you will forever have a job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like your boss doesn't want to learn how to do AI. They don't want to
They're
learn these new tools or automations or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want to know. They'll pay you gladly if you're saving them, 5% a year, on staffing or whatever. Like you're saving them time on projects, bro. Like, you're worth money. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. Because time is money, especially with a bigger business like a label. Hey, if I have 50 people in operations and I can save all of them, even 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, that it really adds up. Do you get pushback from the labels in the sense where they're like, I can't sell my artist on this because like their artistic integrity and all that? Or is it like they themselves don't want to jump into the AI like race?
Where I see AI working on major record labels currently is to help them with their up and coming developing talent, since they necessarily don't always have large budgets. So to stretch a, $10, $15, $20,000 budget to get the most out of content,
Got it.
that's where I see it working. Do I see it working on, A-tier level? No, not necessarily. Maybe some background stuff to help with visual effects and things like that. I think the authenticity still needs to be there for the Beyoncés and the Drakes and the Weekends of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for up and coming artists who are, just got signed, their first year being signed, they don't have a budget to go out and shoot, 50 pieces of content within the first couple of months. Like, yeah, let's make an AI clone of you and pop off.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Now, an AI clone is one thing, right? But like an AI artist of completely made it. That is something where I am torn on, because in the same way, you're like, well, this is my art. Like I made this, I took all of this from the internet and I made this Photoshop collage.
Yeah.
It's sort of my art. With AI music, I'm working with this older guy who made a bunch of money in oil or something down in Louisiana.
I love it.
And now he's like, I never really got the chance to be a rock star. And so he went and made 30 songs of AI.
Yeah.
It's not him.
Yeah.
He not even a musical person, really. And we're running campaigns to kind of see what people like. And on one hand, I'm like, well, it's good, good business.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just strange because some of it's not bad. It's like an objectively catchy song.
Dude,
but then like part of the artist, okay, what's under this? Like you like what Bob Dylan wrote because he really wrote it and he like went through a breakup or something. And like this song came out of his emotion, not just like Sora. How would you approach a project of a non-existent artist?
That's a tough question, bro, because I believe AI artists are already being generated and developed by labels to kind of just, get streams.
Sure.
And
Stir the pot.
End of the day, if the music's good, people are going to add it to their playlist. People are going to stream, and that's revenue being generated.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's going to happen. And these majors are already developing artists. Like it's been happening actually for like a couple years at this point. Now it's just going to be even more artists. My personal opinion is, I don't know, dude, it's tough. End of the day, like if somebody like that guy is feeling some sort of creative expression and he's using AI as a tool, then cool. But if you're trying to fool people just to make money, that's where I draw the line. Because end of the day, like music is something that's so powerful and has the potential to save people's lives, to change people's lives, and just make such a profound impact. If you're trying to take advantage of that for profit, I don't think that's cool.
I think that's a good line in the sand where, if you're trying to fool people, it's one thing to be like, this is my AI art, take it how you want. I was feeling, I don't know how to play guitar, so I made a song about, I wrote some of this song. I think, some of it depends on how involved were you. Like, did you spend a month on it? Did you write 90% of the song and you couldn't get it to the finish line, so Claude helped you? Or is it all just like, make a sad country song, enter?
Boom.
And
Exactly.
Because I remember it must be like 6, 7, 8 months ago now where AI was really becoming popular. Every day there's a new tool, new website, new this or that. I can't remember what the name of the app was. I gave it a very basic prompt of like, make a song in the style of Johnny Cash about like walking my dog to the park or something really stupid. And it made like, was it the best song ever? No. But it was like, was there structure there? Were there cool parts of the instrumental where you're like, I could work with this? I could see how instead of like AI finishing the project.
It's a good starter.
I would like to like have AI be like, how do I iron out my emotion here? Oh, that's a good idea. I could do it that way. And then it starts it for you, but not finishes it.
Just like we were talking about, it's a great tool for an artist that's up and coming, starting out, doesn't have a lot of money to spend on studio time, to help them get the song structured, flushed out, to get, whatever, even production at a base level before they have to spend actual money to go in a studio and re-record it. It's like, it's a great tool. So if you learn how to use these tools to enhance your creativity and not replace it, that's where I think AI is a great middle line for creatives.
That's a good way to put it. Enhance the system you're putting in place, not just like create one for you.
Don't be lazy and be like, oh, I'm an artist now because I put in the prompt and I have these songs.
Because you got the music purists who are like, come on, bro. And then like, you get the point you made about like, is this just to make money? Because remove AI. Like in music, the audience can see when like someone's doing a pure cash grab.
Yeah, for sure.
And like you might go, all right, whatever, man, get your money. But like, it's not like, sweet. Like I love seeing whoever in this like car commercial.
Yeah.
You know, like there is an element of like selling out, but I think with AI right now, it's so in flux and it's so kind of like people are still forming their opinion about it and they don't really know what's AI and what isn't anymore. It's just really interesting.
It's going to get even scarier.
I'm just waiting for like here's a clip of China invading Taiwan. And then everyone thinks the world is, never mind, it was just AI.
Yeah.
Like that is scary.
It's getting there, bro.
And this is only what we see.
Exactly.
Like, what does the NSA have?
Exactly.
You know, like what do other countries have that
They
like,
got some scary stuff out there, bro.
I don't even like, I do want to know, but like, I don't.
End of the day, you got to just trust your intuition. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be all right.
Now, going forward with musicians, say you're also working with some like brands or entrepreneurs. What's the biggest difference between making content for like organic purposes of just like curating your page and for your website versus like making an ad? Is there like a clear difference, or do you typically do one or the other?
To me, the best marketing material is material that doesn't feel like it's marketing material, right? It feels like you are talking to your friend and then you drop the information you need to drop. And there's, if you're, dude, this will be dope for your life. Like, here's a call to action, you know? I know there's a place for ads to where it's like, here's my new product, or here's my new single, or it's like, here's my 25% off for the next 3 days. Click the link. Like, there's a place for that. But I feel like if you get a little more creative, it'll convert better.
Yeah.
If you tell some sort of story, you take the viewer on some sort of journey and inform them about your product along the way or your brand. And then they'll feel like they're inclined to support you versus, I'll get this 25% off because I need it, you know? So I'm big on making marketing material not feel like marketing material. And the way I try to do that is through authentic connection, through storytelling, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's big. I mean, especially with music or any like service business, like local, like when we work with people in town, like it's a relationship business.
For sure.
Organic content where you're not selling out and not trying to sell somebody something, because people can see through that a million miles away.
Yeah.
Whether it's organic or an ad, where it's like the first 30 seconds of a video or a great story, and then at the end they loop in the buy my course or comment this to get the ebook, and you're like, this motherfucker, he got me. But it like sometimes you're right, like you can tell a story and it seems genuine. Like at the end of the day, with almost all social media, on some level there is a reason to do it. Where like even like if I'm trying to give good advice for marketing, for example, like yes, I'm trying to give good advice and I want to help people, but on some level it's because I want a client.
Yeah, for sure.
So like it's like an interesting line to walk where yes, I am trying to sell my service, but like you're not going to get there unless you connect with me and hear my story or see why it is relevant to you.
Yeah. But even you being honest and saying, I'm doing all this, I'm giving out all this free game because end of the day, I want to work with some amazing clients. Like even if you're straight up about it, to like, this guy's dropping a bunch of gems because in the hopes of, he's going to get more clientele from this. And based off what he's saying, I'm really resonating with him. So I would love to work with him versus you watching something where it's like, this guy's just trying to sell me a digital product or a course or something.
Stupid shit. Yeah.
Or $1,200 consultation call. You know what I mean? It's like the reason I first started liking Hermosi's content was because he started off with, I'm not trying to sell you anything. This is just something I've learned that could be helpful to you. And then hopefully you make enough money to one day I can acquire your company, because at the end of the day, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to acquire companies. I'm like, cool. Laid it out. I don't feel like I'm being roped into something, Transparent, seems trustworthy. Like, you want people to kind of like make their own mind up on spending their money with you instead of like, they convinced me to spend some money.
I tricked you.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is such a big difference. And I see a lot in marketing in particular. There's a lot of like over promise, under deliver folks. I'm on 10x your business today. Look at me in front of my Lambo. Like that stupid shit. And they try to, like impulse, like get you to buy the candy when you're in line at the grocery store. It's not like trying to reason with you to, after 3 weeks of deliberating, this is the right move for me. I'm choosing to partner with this. It's been transparent. That is, the gotcha. I really don't like that.
End of the day, I feel like I treat my clients like my friends, you know what I'm saying? And I genuinely want the best for my clients. I want them to get the results they need. If I can't help them get that, then I don't necessarily want to work with them. because that's a waste of their time and my time. So I've even had clients to where our retainer ran out and I'm still working with them just because I want them to get whatever goals we set out to get, even if it's me spending my time and resources and money to still do that and I'm not getting paid for it. That's just the level of how much I believe in my clients that I'm working with, and whatever their message or their end goal is. As far as like, I'm working with one chiropractor, and he's an upper cervical chiropractor, really great guy. I actually use his services. I get adjusted all the time. And he really just believes in what he does because it's genuinely changed people's lives. And he's told me, like, we've shot content before and he's told me stories and he's crying, and like he thought the camera wasn't rolling, but the camera was rolling,
Of course, always be rolling.
Yeah, seriously, always be rolling. Out of all the content we shot, that was the best content because he was just being real and being a human, So I think if we all just kind of lean into our humanity and treat people like friends, like we're trying to actually improve their lives. And I think whenever marketing is the I gotcha marketing, the product isn't good.
No, that's why they have to do the gotcha, because it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
It's not actually a solution.
Exactly. If you have a product that can change somebody's life, you're not going to be so pushed on selling it.
It just is what it is.
Yeah, it's like, dude, if you want to, let's run it. If not, it's all good. Like, I'm not pressed.
That is so key. The chiropractor, right? Like for that example where like it performed really well because it was raw, it was authentic. He was telling a story.
Yeah.
Like I've seen even like a couple of years ago, that same guy might have been able to give like a talking head, 3 best ways to treat your back.
Yeah.
And that type of content I feel is not working as well. Even me back in the day, I used to do a lot of here's how to do this if you're a musician.
Yeah.
And that type of content isn't performing as well as the storytelling.
100%.
And because now you've got a lot of talking heads and a lot of experts and a lot of regurgitating ChatGPT bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's more like the story is what resonates with people. I think more. Have you been seeing that as well?
I'm all in on storytelling. I think the like the tips, the educational stuff is good, top of funnel. That gets them into your ecosystem, and then the stories kind of build that human connection, the emotional connection, and then after that, they consume even more of your content, and then they'll find something else to resonate with, and then they'll make that decision to book a call or come in or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting. One of the things I'm thinking of here is like on one hand, you've got like musicians where the call to action, a lot of it is ambiguous, right? Unless it's like, I have a show on this day at this location. A lot of it is kind of just like, I'm getting my name out there. I'm getting my brand out there versus like a chiropractor where like, I'm trying to get more sessions each month. Setting goals with an artist. Is it, this to me is a success if I get 50,000 views. That's a success. Or is it more like we're trying to curate the message? And when it's more of an ambiguous goal, how do you measure success with an artist like that?
I typically like to work with artists based on campaigns. So that's like whenever I have the initial meeting with them, it's like, what are we trying to achieve? Okay, we have an album coming out in 3 months, right? We would like to get 25,000 pre-saves within these next 3 months. We have a single coming out in 2 months. That's going to be the first single. But between them, we're going to drop 2 songs, like loose songs that have nothing to do with the album. I'm like, okay, those first 2 songs are general awareness content. So I want to make that the most top of funnel, viral, catchy content, scroll stopping content, right? Yep. And then the first single, I want to start building the world of the album to kind of, show that there's a shift in tone, that we're heading into something. It's not just a random song we're putting out. And then after that, I'm going to have, lifestyle content, personality content, more world building content for this album. And then all of those are going to lead to a call to action, which is going to be pre-save, pre-ad, pre-save, pre-ad, So and those are all different types of campaigns. So I just generally look at the big picture goals and I try to create smaller campaigns within that. And then I break down the content within those campaigns. So I kind of like work backwards.
Yeah, so that's key. That's clutch. This morning I had a call with a musician very similar where I was like, well, I need to kind of back into, you need to tell me on some degree, what do you want or what are you trying to do so I can back into the right solution. Now, when someone like in that case, they kind of had a firm goal of like, my album's coming out. I want 25,000 pre-saves. When someone is like, I don't know how to gauge success with this, do you kind of like help them find an answer?
Yeah, it depends. I'm like, what do you want to do in music? It's like, I don't know. I just want to be famous. I'm just like, it's probably not a great.
Good luck.
That's not a great client to work with because,
Because if you're not famous at the end of the campaign, then it's a failure.
Yeah. And what is fame? It's like, you can go into that even further, but it's like, somebody who's like, I'm doing a 7-show run. I want to sell out each venue. It's a 250 capacity. Cool. That gives me so much structure.
Yeah.
We can make ads, geo-target stuff. We can look at all your super fans, figure out where they're at, see if we could, see if the shows can stop there, So I think having concrete goals, and I tell artists this all the time, put a number to it. You want to hit, if all your reels that you post do 500 views and you want one to hit 10,000, awesome. Let's put a number to it. Because we will figure out how to achieve that. If it's this pie in the sky thing of like, I don't know, I just want people to know I'm out there or know I exist. I'm like, I can get 10 more people to stream your song.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We've done what you said, but you won't feel good. You want millions, right?
Yeah.
So sit down and really ask yourself with a pen and paper, what do I want to achieve? And put a number to it.
I think that's key. And I think with that, I would say go try to find artists that you compare yourself to, maybe in the sense of like the levels in the business in which you're at, not the sound per se. Because with business or musicians, what they'll do is like, I don't know, I guess 1 million streams sounds good.
Yeah.
And they kind of pull a number out of their ass.
Yeah.
And they themselves aren't backing into like a realistic actual goal where, my last few reels are only getting 500. I would love to get to 10,000. That's like a goal like specific to the data that you're seeing. It's your goal instead of like, well, 100,000 would sound great. And like, do you find a lot of folks are kind of like with them not knowing what the goal is? Like that must be hard to like manage expectations. But then like how many of them are they probably think it's much easier to get 1 million views, streams than it is.
For sure, because they've never done it. So they don't know the cost of what it takes. And a lot of times artists, especially independent artists, try for a little bit for like 15 days, a month to post content, and they get kind of no reaction from it. And then they're like, I need somebody else to do it. I need to hire somebody. Or like the algorithm hates me. I'm like, no, you just got to, this is a science. Like grabbing people's attention online is a science. You just have to get good at it. Just how you spent time going on Pro Tools and Logic and YouTube and figuring all of that out, how to make music, recording at home. Like this is another process you have to learn how to do and get good at. You're not going to do it in a month. Like I've been making content for myself personally for like close to 2 years now. In the first 6 months, I knew I was going to be trash at it and I couldn't talk to a camera. So I forced myself every day to go to Uptown Charlotte, put a camera down on the street to where people were walking by and looking at me and just talk to the camera and get good at talking to a camera, because I knew in order for me to achieve my dreams of making content, I had to get better at making content.
Yeah.
So become a scientist in your own field or partner with somebody that's really good, like Elliot.
Yeah. Well, and part of that, like with the consistency of like the production, like one, you're doing that because you believe in like the long-term goal of it. You're not necessarily like, I need validation. I make a video Monday, Tuesday, I need all the likes and comments. Like I think some musicians get caught up in that where they don't love the process, they love the result.
Exactly.
And that's really, really hard to sustain, like whether it's music, making content for yourself or anything. Like if you are in it just for, well, when I get my views, like that's really, really hard to sustain. With your own stuff, were you setting goals for yourself? Like were those goals reach or was it output?
Well, it kind of changed. In the beginning, I was like, man, I'm going to make content and then I'm going to get, start making money, selling stuff online and doing all this stuff. And I've kind of went through my ebbs and flows with content. The craziest thing about content is like, you never know who's watching. Like I've had time when I've had 10,000 followers and I just put out a piece of content and it does, bro, I don't know, it'll hit 30, 40,000 views, which is all right. Bro, like the people that I've had reach out to me, like label execs, CEOs, people who run campaigns for super famous actors. I'm like, I never would have imagined they're watching my content.
Right.
So you never know who's watching your stuff, even if you don't have millions of followers, even if you don't have millions of views, bro. You could have 3,000-4,000 views on a reel and you could have, an A&R from Atlantic Records watching your stuff. Like you never know who's watching. So I always encourage for people to just make the stuff and put it out. And on the flip side of that, man, like treat it as an extension of your art. Like it shouldn't be a drag to make content.
Yeah.
Is it a drag to make your music? You're just building on the world, man. Like get creative.
Yeah.
Don't copy other people. Like how do you want people to experience your world, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they've got to find a way to play the content game. Now, how much you play, that's up for debate, or like you can strategize that, but you can't not go to the game.
Yeah.
I was caught up in this when I was in my musician days. Like, I believed the art was so good that once people hear it, it's just going to spread itself. And that's not how it works. Like, even like amazing movies, like spend a ton of money telling you that movie is out and reminding you that
All the time.
it's not just like they didn't announce Avengers one time and like
You knew it was coming for like 2 years, bro.
Right. So like even big popular things, you need to be reminded. There's so much noise, there's so much saturation that even if you're an artist, anyone outside of your top single-digit hardest fans needs to be reminded that what you're doing and when it's coming out and why. And, oh, that's right, that did come out. You can't not play the game. You have to figure out how to win the game for you. That's a different conversation. But if you're not willing to play, good luck.
We're in the business of getting attention, bro. Attention is the currency of this economy. You know what I mean? So just figure out how to get good at getting attention with your music, with your content, with the way you present yourself, the way you speak, and, you know, you'll be all right.
And you never know who's watching. He's right. Back in the day, I remember I posted some random, like, musicians should do this instead of that. And then, like, Waka Flocka sent me a DM.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
He was like, yo, you put out good info, my guy.
Bro, crazy, right?
And I was like, sweet. And I was like, okay, yeah. Waka Flocka's, I'm me. Like,
I'm going to frame this DM, bro.
Right. And then after that, I think Nelly followed me.
Let's go.
And sent me a DM, or maybe, no, Waka sent me a DM. And when Nelly followed me, I sent him a DM like, hey, thanks for the follow. And he said, hey, you're welcome.
Waka Flocka probably sent it to Nelly, bro. You never know.
You never know. You never know who's watching. And I think that is so key. You don't need your video to hit 1 million views. Like, if 1,100 people see the video and 3 of them book a call to talk about marketing, fantastic.
You did your job,
Yeah.
You just need to figure out who your ideal avatar is and then speak to them, bro.
What are some of like the tips that you would leave an artist or anyone who's looking to navigate like Instagram and TikTok for the next year? What are some of the things that you're seeing that maybe they can jump on?
Be authentic, first and foremost, right? Treat content like an extension of your art. Right? Be passionate about it. You're passionate about making music. Be passionate about, you know, practicing making content, putting it out. The rate of execution is very important. The quicker you go from idea to shooting to posting, the gap in between that, if it's short, you will most likely see success. You know what I'm saying? If you think of an idea and then you're thinking about it for 3 weeks, you're trying to get it right in your mind or whatever, the moment's already gone.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So get an idea, shoot it that day, put it out that night.
Just do it.
Do that every single day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That will always outpace anyone who's, you know, trying to focus on quality or whatever. Because, you know, attention comes and goes.
Yes.
So, and just be real and have fun, dude. Have fun. End of the day. Like, yes, people want, you know, music to be their job. They want content creation to be their job, but enjoy it, bro. Like, it's creation. Just have fun making stuff. And when you let go of all those strings of like, I'm going to be a content creator, or I need to shoot 15 pieces of content. When you're just having fun making stuff with your friends, that content does so much better than anything super scripted and produced will. So just have fun doing it, bro. And when people feel you having fun, they'll be like, I like that person, and they'll buy your stuff or they'll listen to your music, whatever. Yeah. So
that matters more than, wow, that looks really good on that red
Exactly,
camera.
Man. Exactly. Yeah. So just enjoy it.
I love it. Well, thanks for coming by.
Of course, bro. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
My guy.
Hey, another episode of the Cuttin Thru podcast.
Yurt.